This is my pal. I know. Needs a little love. This is one of our cats, Pippin. He's okay. A little annoying. And that's Chicken. This video is about how I throw a rap shot. Kind of like this. Not necessarily how you should throw it, but the way I throw it. If what's here is useful to you, then great. If not, there's got to be someone out there who has something you can use. Never be shy about asking a knight or duke or whatever when you're at practice. Just do it. Go bug them. Whatever. I mean, they're there. You're there. Good time. Now, here's the warning I should give in all good conscience. I'm not a doctor, physiologist, nor someone trained in sports medicine. If what you're doing hurts, by all the gods, stop. Think about it. Reconsider your technique, or my technique. Why does it hurt? Are you straining? Is there some pain in your elbow or shoulder joint? So always, always, always listen to your body. My own path to learning this sport, martial art, or rock'em sock'em game, whatever you want to call it, has been mostly through exploration, occasional instruction, and inspiration from some fantastic people. Like this guy. This is Duke Skepti Thorensen. I've always loved his confidence, and as a result, the relaxed approach he brings to the field. He is at ease and knows the right balance of tension and release. The man he's fighting here is Duke Sven Falger Gunnarsson. Like Skepti, Sven is totally confident and at ease, except you can definitely feel a sense that he's about to totally unload on you, and you better be ready for it. Here Sven is about to... that. Missed it? Don't worry, he'll do it again. Yeah, he throws a great fast rap. And it's this kind of rap that I occasionally am able to throw on him when he lets me. Here he's doing it again. And yes, he just double tapped with raps. And this is Sir Fiakokool Fyrdi Ulfridsson. Fiak was my knight. And as far as his own rap is concerned, solid. As a lefty, I use raps a lot. The sword side of my usual right-handed opponents is a target area I spend a lot of time trying to hit. Their sword or onside leg, hip, side, armpit, sword arm, shoulder, neck, and head can all be hit by raps. You can use snaps, sure, but most experienced righties angle their bodies, change stance, or adjust their shields to make sure those areas are less available to a snap from me. One way I've heard a rap described is likening it to serving a bowl of soup, as you would with a flat snap, and dumping the bowl. It's a fun analogy. You can imagine Mr. Miyagi suggesting something like it. Imagine all the wasted soup and Danny telling his girlfriend, Allie, I get what Mr. Miyagi's teaching me with the wax on, wax off jazz, but this other thing just seems kind of mean. I mean, really. Please, have some soup. Psych! However, for the purposes of teaching, this soup analogy does work. And if it helps to get you there, great. But I'm not sure I'd say the bowl of soup analogy is quite the way I think of my rap. One of the first things I'd say on the rap is that the sword or stick has weight on its end. That weight can do a lot of the work for you. You can start learning this with just a length of dowel or stick of rattan if you've got it. Letting your arm hang loose and just gently swing the dowel forward and back with a relaxed grip. There's a wonderful movie from 1952 called Scaramouche with Stuart Granger, Eleanor Parker, Vivian Leigh, and Mel Ferrar, all of whom are great in that movie. Stuart Granger's Scaramouche is being taught how to sword fight, and his teacher tells him a sword is like a bird. If you clutch it too tightly, you choke it. Too lightly and it flies away. It's something to keep in mind when you're trying to become more fluid with your motions while throwing blows. It's a balance that allows you to throw some great stuff, Milanese and combos and wraps. With our bird, you do choke it a little, but usually just with the thumb and forefinger, not so much that it can't pivot in that hold, just enough. If you put a trigger on it, you can let it fly just a bit more. But remember, when it hits, it needs to be in your grip. At the end of a wrap, as with a snap, you can clench your grip to give that blow just that last bit of punctuation. So, that's the grip. As for the blade and tip, if you turn your sword around so the hilt is on the end, or maybe just pick up a baseball bat, it's easy to get the feel for the idea of a weight at the end that really wants to do its own thing. And it's this part of the sword you can really get to work for you. Now, either by way of soup or whip, snap or wrap, a blow usually starts from the feet, goes up through the body, and finally terminates when your sword hits. You might consider it like a ball or weight at the end of a whip or chain. As you can see, my foot, sword foot or shield foot, is planted, and I start from there. And I use my hip, pulling it back a bit, starting a whip snap kind of action that my shoulder and then hand sort of repeat in a chain of motion. And that whip chain cracks at the finish when the ball on the end or sweet spot of the sword hits the target. I've watched many newer fighters woodenly try to control the wrap, placing it at the target. The shot only ends up losing the majority of its speed and power, and the opponent will more than likely see it coming. At the Pel, you can practice what height to throw your hand to for the head, body, and leg, and also what angle is best for the plane your arc needs to travel in. Usually this is perpendicular to the surface you want to hit. The arc my sword tip travels is more than half a circle, giving it plenty of momentum by the time I hit the target, and this is with a bare stick. Switching to a completed sword and a trigger, it tends to hit even harder. I've added some mass to it with the tape, rawhide cover, a thrusting tip, and using a plastic hilt instead of a metal one, the balance tends toward the tip. A few more notes. If you go back to the soup analogy, I'm not really shoving that bowl right at him, but just off to the side of him. Further, sometimes the snap is taught to include the hitting through the target principle. You know, your sword may impact at the temple, but you're actually trying to hit through to the back of the head. And to achieve that, your hand ends up crossing your line of sight. But with a wrap, you're throwing your hand just off to the side of his head. So, mean Mr. Miyagi version would be like, see this bowl of soup, Daniel-san? Well, you can't have any. Make sure that bowl is empty. That is, make sure your hand is turned all the way over. You don't want to hit with the flat of the blade. This is supposed to be the back edge of your sword you're hitting with. And your opponent may think the blow's good, but if you know it's not, come on, it's not. Returns. Remember to let the blow hit, then go on to your next move. If nothing else, the hand has to come back in order to throw another shot, snap, or another wrap. Whatever you do, don't leave it hanging out there for too long. Once in a while, usually after I've just thrown a shot to my opponent's leg, I'll draw my hand back just behind my shield edge to help block any shot that he throws at my own leg as I retreat. And also, if you step with your sword leg to deepen your wrap, remember it's still there, so adjust appropriately. Unless, of course, you want to keep that leg, hip, or body exposed on that side. So that's all I got. I hope you enjoyed it, or at least were mildly amused by it. And I put out a challenge to all my brothers and sister knights out there in AnTir to make your own videos and submit them to the AnTir YouTube channel. Fighters out there, I'm pretty sure would like to see each of your individual takes on your fighting style, or would like to learn, some basic lessons. Something. Give them something, guys. Thank you very much, and good day.